responsive action plan for Dadaab, right? I would like to call upon Halima Hussein. So our next speaker will be Halima Hussein, and she's going to give us an overview of the Garissa County Action Plan on the implementation of United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325, and as well as marking or commemorating the, the anniversary of the resolution. Karibu Halima.
The Deputy County Governor of Garissa, Head of NCTC, the DCC, the County Administrator or Sub-County Administrator, CEC Gender, Madam Hawa, and all protocols in the House of Zau. Good morning. My name is Halima, working with WOKIKE in Kenya. I would just want to take you over the GCAP, and that is the main objective for today's activity. Garissa County Action Plan on the implementation of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325. A brief introduction of the UNSCR 1325, that is the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325. It was adopted in 31st of October 2000 by the United Security Council. The resolution recognizes women's roles as peace builders, agents of change, and calls on the United Nations, UN member states, civil society, international community to ensure women increase participation in peace building. In Africa, out of the 55 African Union member states, 25 of them have adopted this resolution, and Kenya is one of them. Kenya adopted the Kenya National Action Plan that provided a comprehensive framework for the implementation of women, peace, and security agenda, and it started from Kenya National Action Plan 1 and then Kenya National Action Plan 2, which is currently being implemented in Kenya. It articulates priorities and a coordinated action for the implementation of the United Nations Security Council Resolutions 1325 at the national level and also at county level. It captures the role of diverse actors among the government agencies, development partners, the CSOs, academia, private sector, who are tasked with the advancing human security, national development, gender equality, and women empowerment agenda in Kenya. That is just a brief introduction of the Kenya National Action Plan. From there, we came down to the County Action Plan, and that is why we are here today, as I have said before. The Garissa County Action Plan proposes strategies for implementation that will propagate the achievement of positive outcomes for women, girls, and other stakeholders against each of the thematic areas. These thematic areas are the pillars that contains the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325. There are a number of objectives in the Garissa County Action Plan. Some of the objectives, the first one is to ensure policy and institutional coherence in the implementation of Kenya National Action Plan and also the United Nations Security Council 1325 at county level. Then the other objective is to promote collaboration and coordination between national government, local bodies, and also CSOs to promote the women, peace, and security agenda. The third objective is to facilitate cross-sectoral cooperation and collaboration on the implementation of United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 and also the KNAP. KNAP is the Kenya National Action Plan 2. Among the government agencies, UN entities, CSOs, and other relevant actors. The fourth objective is to raise awareness, understanding of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325. You will be hearing this every time. and national policies among all other stakeholders. To promote local ownership of the resolution, that is why we are localizing and we want it to be implemented at grassroots, and also identify concrete actions toward implementation in local communities. To promote the integration of a gender perspective into the county peace and security policies and mainstream gender perspective into all aspects of conflict prevention, conflict resolution, and peace building. The last objective is to encourage collaboration with all stakeholders in their efforts to promote the participation of women in conflict prevention, peace building, conflict resolution, relief, recovery programs in all projects. This is just to advocate for women to be included in all programs. Then why do we need to localize this agenda, this policy? Over the past 20 years, the government, the UN, and the CSOs have sought to implement United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 through the national and local level strategies commonly referred to as the National Action Plan. And there are a number of needs why we need to localize or domesticate it. The first one is to promote systematic coordination among the national and the local governments in implementing the UNSCR 1325, to facilitate cross-sectoral cooperation and collaboration among the government agencies, UN entities, the CSOs, and other relevant actors in the implementation of the UNSCR 1325. To raise awareness on UNSCR 1325, local government officials, among the local government officials, the traditional leaders, the local women leaders, community leaders, religious leaders, and all other actors at grassroots. To promote implementation and local ownership. This, we are domesticating it because we want the local community to implement themselves the resolution. To promote implementation and local ownership of the resolution among local communities, to contribute towards the better global implementation of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 and other supporting resolutions. The Garissa County Action Plan, as I have said, have strategic recommendations on the implementation of the GCAP. Here, everybody has a role to play. The government, both the national and the local, has a role to play. The civil society have roles to play, and also the donor world has roles to play. To the government, the roles of the government is to adopt the localization program as a strategy for United Nations Security Resolution 1325, and also the Kenya National Action Plan implementation. The second one is to participate in localization workshops. I hope the government is listening very well. To participate in localization workshops, TOT training, that is the training of trainers workshops, drafting and validation of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325, and also the Kenya National Action Plan localization guidelines. Also to provide funding for the implementation and the localization of the GCAP. Endorse, launch, and roll out United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325, and also the Kenya National Action Plan 2, and the localization guidelines for the implementation of the resolution. To the CSOs. The CSOs in the house, this is your role in the successful implementation of the GCAP. To advocate adopting the localization program as a strategy for the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325, and also the KNAP, Kenya National Action Plan 2, at county level. To jointly and more effectively raise resources to implement the localization program. To strengthen collaboration, coordination, communication, and consultation with other CSOs, the government ministries, the local level agencies, and UN entities to jointly implement the localization program. To continue to be proactive in taking the UNSCR 1325, that is the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325, and the Kenya National Action Plan 2, to grassroots level. This is creation of awareness at grassroots. To conduct community advocacy through the media. Now to the donor community and the UN agencies. They have to support, it's a request, to support the localization program that aims to increase the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 and also the Kenya National Action Plan 2 implementation at local levels, and also support the development of more information, education, and communication materials on the Resolution 1325 and also the supporting resolutions, other supporting resolutions. To establish transparent and flexibility funding mechanisms for women, peace, and security initiatives. We say towards every successful agenda, there must be some challenges. India. Some of the anticipated challenges in implementing the Garissa County Action Plan are varying priorities among the stakeholders, inadequate funding or resources, high material expectation from the communities, unreported cases of violation of women's rights, to the remote nature of rural communities in Garissa that might hinder the implementation of the GCAP, the cultural limitations, existence of ongoing and unresolved conflicts that reduce to or deter impact, the porous borders facilitate the presence of unauthorized and uncontrolled small arms that can sneak in. That marks the end of my presentation. Thank you. And it was just a brief overview, but I hope everybody has the detailed copy of the 2 CAPs. So please take some time to read those books. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Halima. Ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate her as she goes back to her seat. Thank you so much. Yes, so by the end of this, you will have your own package that you can go take home, familiarize, and get to dig deeper to understand what the action plan entails. At this point, I would like to welcome representing all the CSOs in Garissa County, and a man of passion in terms of women inclusion, in terms of community welfare, in terms of supporting the society, our very own Mohammed Khalif, to give up his remarks. Karibu.
Your Excellency, my very able Deputy Governor and a friend of mine, Honorable Abdi Dagane. Madam Ngeno, I just want to thank you very much for being exceptionally kind to Garissa County. Be blessed. Representing UN Women. I would like to call my friend Jengamiri, the Director of National Counterterrorism. Keep people talking of resilience and all this, but he's a man on the ground. Tomorrow he'll go and sleep in the dark. Very active man. Thank you. Now, representative of the County Commissioner, a good friend of mine, Wanakomen, who is always with us. Mr. Dubo, representing, the government. Gender and all the CECs who are here, especially I can see 2 of them, Madam Hawa from Gender, and my good friend, Mr. Hadi of Works, and then the chair of the sub-county. All protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, the civil society, I'll be very brief because everything has been said about the civil society, but we make a lot of contributions to the lives and the livelihood of the people in Garissa. We are in all sectors, the economy, priority, basic service, institutional development, and carrying out awareness and raising programs. I'll leave this at that, and I'll get straight to the heart of the topic of today, and I'm going to be very brief. Now, what is the role of women in peace building and trying to prevent what we call countering violent extremism? Women can play a crucial role in preventing and actually countering violent extremism in their communities. Here are the ways in which they can. Promoting peace, women can use their unique positions in the society as mothers, sisters, and daughters to promote what you call peace, tolerance in their families and communities by encouraging dialogue and understanding. They can help prevent the spread of what you call extremist dialogues. So those are women. These are not people to joke around with. Now, the second thing is building resilience. Women can help build resilience in their communities by promoting social cohesion, encouraging participation of marginalized groups by strengthening communities, bonds, and they can make it harder for extremist groups to gain a foothold. That is the role of women. 3 is preventing actually early warning. Women can particularly be attuned to changes of their communities and can provide early warning of potential radicalization or extremism activities by keeping a close eye on those around them. They can identify individuals who may be vulnerable to extremist messages and provide support and guidance. Those are women. I'm just trying to justify why women. And this is what happens. Next is actually countering extremism narratives. Women are very good at forming words. Actually, somebody was telling me my wife speaks 100 words in a minute when I can only speak 2. So those are the people. They're going to use their tongue and sharpness in trying to convince everything else. So when it comes to narratives, women can challenge extreme narratives by promoting alternative messages of peace and tolerance by using social media, public speaking, and other forms of help to counter what you call appeal of extremist dialogues. 5th, overall women can bring what you call unique perspective and skillful the task of preventing and countering violent extremism by working together with and other stakeholders, community. They can make a significant what you call contribution to build a more peaceful and tolerant what you call world. I'm going to be very brief, but before I go and sit, I just want to make one Somali proverb, and I want the best Somali speaker here to translate this for me. Where I come from in the Dab, and apparently I come from the Dab, they say, Nin waran la gilgile. Before the Mzungu brought us what you call the guns and everything, Madam Geno, we used to use spears. Nin wahaliri waran la gilgile, umari. Like in Kampala gilgile. That is the power of men. Can somebody loosely translate this, or I do it myself? Abdullah, Dubo, can you translate that? You're all scared. Can I have a lady who can translate that? The power of women. Anybody here? Let me translate it for you. Loosely translated. You know, if you actually face a duel, and you know, a duel, you know, there's always the victor and the vanquished. He either beats you or you beat him, you face that spear. But once our lady starts shaking her headscarf like this, then there is no going. And finally, in English, they say behind every successful man, there is a woman. We can never leave this category of gender behind. They are very important. And thank you very much. I have been brief. But Madam Keno, I want to thank you once more for being exceptionally kind to Garissa. Please, make sure we take resolution 1325 all the way to the grassroots. Thank you so much and be blessed.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Our next speaker is our regional coordinator from the National Gender and Equality Commission, Mr. Abdul Wahab. He's going to give us his remarks. Remember, we are talking about gender responsive action plan. So we need to hear what he has to say about the inclusion of women.
Thank you, Mariam. Our Deputy Governor, His Excellency Abdul Dagani, Head of Prevention and Resilience, Commissioner, our Deputy County Commissioner, Solomon Chesut, the Honorable CC for Gender, Howard Dagan, the Honorable CC for Urban Planning, Honorable Mohammed, my friend Director Dubo, the Executive Director of Mankind, National Government officers present, led by the Director for Tibet, Mr. Mohammed Noor, my friend Usman Fatah, all protocol observed. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum to the ladies, because this is your day. I've only heard of 2 responses from the CEC, so we are celebrating you and you are, I don't know. Okay, all protocols observed. My name is Abduhab from the National Gender and Equality Commission. And as we are all aware, the Commission mandate is to promote gender equality and freedom from discrimination for all persons. But there is Section 8, which states that the Commission act as the principal state organ, the principal organ of the state in ensuring compliance with all treaties and conventions ratified by Kenya relating to issues of equality and freedom from discrimination, including the UN Resolution 1325 of 2000. The UN Security Resolution 1325 recognizes that conflict affects women and girls differently from men and boys, and that women must be part of conflict resolution and long-term peace-building initiatives. A gender perspective calls for more equitable peace-building institutions, processes, and structures. Gender equality is a core human right principle and is key to peaceful development. The equal participation of women and men in peace building contributes to the fulfillment of fundamental conventions with regard to human rights, such as the CEDAW and other important UN security resolutions like 1325 on women, peace, and security. Gender awareness in peace processes and negotiation is not a question of political correctness. Rather, it is a question of the accurate, systematic, and strategic analysis of an effective, sustainable, and equal processes as well as professionalism. According to a report by the UN Women 2012 that reviewed the UN Security Council Resolution 1325, it identified that out of the 31 major peace processes conducted since 1992, 4% of the signatories of the peace agreements were women, which is really low. 2.4% of the chief mediators were women, again, very significantly low number, and 3.7% of the witnesses or the observers to peace negotiation were women. 9% of the negotiation team members were again women. So this means that women, as per that report of 2012, women were lessly involved in the peace processes. But we all understand that they play a critical role. Peace starts at the bedroom. If today His Excellency the Deputy Governor had an issue in the bedroom last night and he had a fight there, angekuwa hapa sio? So that is the role women play in peace. If he had issues, if Njengamiri had an issue with his wife and he had woken up with a bad mood, he can't even address you here. He will just give an excuse and say that I can't make it to the event. So we all need to understand that women play a critical role in these processes. The development of the gender responsive DSCAP prevention and countering violent extremism action plan, I think, is timely, because this is the time when we as a country and also as Garissa County, we are really facing a lot of challenges that are brought by the CVE and issues to do with violent extremism. Currently, Garissa is really facing a crisis, especially in the education sector. We all know that 70% of our schools have no teachers. You will see a school with only one ECD teacher running a whole school from class 1 to class 8. And that is only caused by violent extremism and the extremist group called Al-Shabaab. So we need to understand that this problem that we are facing that has been brought by the extremist group is real, and that we need to wake up from where we are, from our comfort zones, and face these monster called extremist groups led by the Al-Shabaab. I can say the name, but many will fear to say that name. But we have to face it because they have really destroyed our economy. They have really destroyed our education sector. Our health sector is grounded. So we should all stand up tall. To UN Women, I think from that video, you can really see that the great work womankind did in that Dadaab. Dadaab being one of the sub-counties that has a border with Somalia, and it is considered as one of the heart-rich areas. They managed to go there and do all those sensitizations, and it was very clear from the beneficiaries that womankind really did that great job. And that's why, as a country, because the Commission is the principal organ to report on the treaties that Kenya has ratified, we have good process, and such the progresses that we are reporting is courtesy of such collaborations, both from the state and the non-state actors. So we call upon UN Women to continue with such collaborations, and that we not only focus in Dadaab, but also extend it. Because womankind, if they were in Dadaab, let them extend to all the other border areas. Because CVE is not only in Dadaab, but the violent extremist groups and their ideologies are deep-rooted in other border areas. So we will highly appreciate if tomorrow again you call us back here and say that we have extended UN Women Project with womankind, but now we are telling them to go to all the border areas, to even Mandera, to all the way to the border of Lamu. So with that, allow me to cut short my presentation, and thank you for that. Asanteni sana.
Thank you so much, Bwana Abdulwahab. Ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate him well. Thank you so much. I think he really touched about so many things that are affected when we are having insecurity. And as I stand here today, on the part he mentioned about education, I want to proudly say in my early days when I was actually still a student, Bwana Deputy Governor taught me somewhere. And it is with a lot of confidence that I stand here and you see host or MC such kind of an event. So if we affect our education systems right now, what happens to our generation? So the ball is on your side, our able Deputy Governor, together with the donor community. Let's support our children, let's support our community. And that is the only way we can have brighter and thriving societies in future. Thank you so much, and I would like to now pause. I can see the room is a little bit calm. I don't know if it's because if it's speeches and speeches. So at this juncture, I would like to welcome our sub-county administrator, Madam Shaya Hambe, to give brief remarks, and then she's going to give us some little bit of entertainment. Karibuni. Karibu, Madam Shaya.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Our able Deputy Governor, CEC is present, representative from the UN Women, Madam Lina Ngeno, and NCTC, Mr. Njenga, and all protocols observed. Assalamu alaikum. Let us first appreciate those ladies. Women's power. Women's power. Women's power. Mr. Deputy Governor, what you have seen in front of you today is a proof that what a man can do, a woman can do better. You know, we do it differently, so that is why we do it better. Okay, let me first invite our sisters from Gargar Women Group. Let them entertain us. Today is our day. Hata tukichelewa mnafaa kubali. Sindio? Asanteni. Asanteni. Naona Deputy Governor amesema hapana. Welcome.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. دمان وحان سلامة هي دبيت كفنها ولالكو يقالي عبد دقاني أيان سلامة هي وسيريدان سلامة هي دمان هويوينكا دمان مرتدى شرفت لوان سلامة هي ميدياشان سلامة هي وحان سلامة هي ولا شيء شاعي أو ميدك تيدا تاغن وسيرة حودك أنا إذا وسلامة يا دمان مسوكوبي كرام مقعودة waxaan salaamayaa diyahan salaamahayaa waxaan salaamahayaa kooxda gargaar waad garanaysaan baan u malayn waa Simba Garissa baa la yiraahdaa aad baan idin salaamahayaa halkan maanta waxaa ka socota labada shay ee adduunka lisan waxa ugu qaalisan adduunweynaha nabadda iyo hooyooyinka ugu qaalisan Soomaa haddii aabbo wuxuu tari malaa xitaa diinta waad aragteen markaad dhimato waxaad ku abtirsanaysaa oo diintu inoo sheegta xagga hooyada marka waxaan rabaa hadduu Allah yidhaahdo tix yar oo macaan oo madaxdeenna iyo hooyada taabanaysa inaan meeshan bal ka tirina insha Allah wixii kale tugaysayna dee waan daba dhigaynaa warmiinka weeye quraan maalig waa allaheen maanayo murtidayda dhagaysta afantii aan micnayo meeshan maanta la joogona hooyooyinkiinni macaana maamuuskaad aragtaane mahad weeye midaaye innagoo isku miigan nabadda aan ku dadaallo wardeel quraan deeqla waa allaheen daayin waa kii nauntay anna dawga wagloodiyo afartii aan dalxeeyo durdur weeye afkaygo deeqyaraa lay dhahaaye dadweyne uu dhagaysto dumarkeenna hooyooyinkiyo nabadda aan ku dadaalle bal dadweyne uu dhagaysto ma isku raacnay dawga wardhaada weeye quraan dhul haddaan la egeynin ma dhammaado afkaygoo maasadaan dhigdhigaayo dhallinyariya waayeel dhibidkaygii wacnaayow inta waa dhinacoodee adiguna dhammaantood waa inaad u dhaganugulaato dadkan aad u dhaqaaqdee baldha'daana dhegayso war caynka weeye quraan caadil waa allaheen casiis waa kiina untay anna caynka wagloodiyo codka aan marinayo cajil weeye afkaygu caadil casiiskii allahayow cadkanaan maanta joogniyo hooyooyinkeenni carranaayo nabaddu waa curadkiiye codka aan marinayo bal codkaana dhegaysta warba'da weeye quraanday boqor waa allaheen bashiir waa nabigeenna anna buugga wagloodiyo maasaduu igu beeray ma barmaayo afkaygu cidna iima bilaabin oo ma aadin baryunid boqorkaa igu beeree bal bayaanka dhegaysta bartana joognana bilanay hooyadeen iyo xalfadeennan ballaadhan nabaddaan nugu baahday boqorkii eebbahayo baarigaaba na siiyee bal bayaanu dhegaysta hooyoy waxaa tahay geedkii hadh weynoo uunku wada higsanayee hooyoy macaanay halkii aan maraynaba kuma hilmaami karayne hooyoy waxaa tahay hoy iyo barwaaqiyo meel lagu harraad baxo hooyoy macaanay habeen iyo dharaar adaan kugu haminaynaa hooyoy waxaa tahay iftiin iyo hilaacii dadku wada higsanayee hooyoy macaanay halabuurka maansiyo erayada hannaanka leh adaan kuu hibaynee hooyoy macaanay jannadii ku hiigso dunyadana habboon iyo caafimaad ku sii higsada intaasaan gabay kusoo afmeerahayaa haddana waxay noogu xigta hees aad u macaan oo noogu talagallay dowladdeenna iyo madaxdeenna iyo hooyooyinka iyo nabadda
dadkoodii matalayo lagu diirsaday batiin mada isku duubayo matalayo lagu diirsaday batiin wax qabad daacado dadaal karti iyo aqoon lagu doortay batiin wax qabad daacado dadaal karti iyo aqoon doortay baad tihiin daljir dowladeenu ducaysana nadiif soo dhisay dhaqane daadihiinaya dadweyno waana deecne u duceeya waana deecne dadweyno waana deecne adeecnaye u duceeya daljir dowladeenu ducaysane nadiif soo dhisay dhaqane daadihiinaya dadweyno waana deecne u duceeya waana deecne dadweyno waana deecne adeecnaye u duceeya maalin weeye daalacan dayax 5 dugsi dhaxanta laga gaalo dugsi dhaxanta laga gaalo maalin weeye daalacan dayax 5 dugsi dhaxanta laga gaalo dugsi dhaxanta laga gaalo deegaanka barwaaqa nabad lagu durdurto aadmigiisu degan yahay deegaanka barwaaqa nabad lagu durdurto aadmigiisu degan yahay daljir dowladeenu ducaysane nadiif soo dhisay dhaqane daadihiinaya dadweyno waana deecne u duceeya waana deecne dadweyno waana deecne adeecnaye u duceeya daljir dowladeenu ducaysane nadiif soo dhisay dhaqane daadihiinaya dadweyno waana deecne u duceeya waana deecne dadweyno waana deecne adeecnaye u duceeya amiin daljir dowladeenu ducaysane nadiif soo dhisay dhaqane daadihiinaya dadweyno waana deecne u duceeya waana deecne dadweyno waana deecne adeecnaye u duceeya amiin
Wapigie makofi jameni. Gargar Women Group. Asanteni sana. Unajua kwa nilikuwa nimesahau Mr. Chesut. Chesut. Haya, umenya. Hata uangalie saidi. Tafadhali tutulie. Kuna a lot of movements.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's come back to the room. I don't know. Somebody could have helped. Let's come back to the room. Thank you so much, Gargar. Tuwapigie makofi tafadhali. Let's appreciate Gargar. Thank you so much, Gargar. As Sharia is proceeding, Honorable Sharia, I would like to recognize all of the people who are following us online. Having several members across Kenya following us online, stream living this. So we want to appreciate you for joining us and being part of this, gracing this occasion. Back to you, Sharia.
Thank you, Sister Mariam. I will kindly request Madam Lina Ngeno, representative from UN Women. Tumkaribishe tafadhalini. Abduab, tumkaribishe Madam Ngeno.
Colleagues, sorry, it seems our live link had been hacked, and the people have started broadcasting very filthy items. So the team is struggling to sort it out. So sorry for that. So it is not intentional. It is a number of people have joined. We thought they were part of our team, but unfortunately, it seems others had other interest. So we apologize for that mix-up. Sorry for that. Thank you. Lina, karibu.
Asante sana. Just a minute. Is it afternoon or morning? Still morning. Okay. Yeah, I was looking for something. Good morning. Good morning once again. I hope you are now back. Don't mind about the virtual thing. Sometimes things that are not good happen. So my name is Lina Ngeno, and I am one of the staff of UN Women, Kenya Country Office, and I'm privileged to be here. So I will deliver greetings from the country representative and staff of UN Women. But first of all, I want to acknowledge the presence of His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Garissa County, Honorable Abdi Dagane. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I'm also informed that there are county commissioner representatives from Garissa and Dadaab, so I also want to acknowledge their presence. I also want to acknowledge the presence of our honorable CECs led by the CC for Gender, Madam Hawa, and I've seen there's also CC for urban planning and trade, yeah, Mohamed Abdi. So I think the house is quite loaded with the goodwill that we require. I also recognize the presence of Mr. Njenga Miri, Head of Prevention, National Counterterrorism Center, and other security representatives, representatives from National Gender Equality, Mr. Abdi Wahab, who has just spoken. I also acknowledge Mr. Abdullahi Abdi and staff of Womenkind organization. And I would also like to acknowledge the representation from civil society organizations led by Mohammed Ali and other women peace advocates and leaders. So we are also informed that there are county representatives from, community representatives from Dadaab and Garissa. Some of them have spoken very powerful words, and then other stakeholders. I will not forget the members of the Fourth Estate. They are all over the room. I also acknowledge your presence. And as I mentioned, my name is Lina Ngeno, and I bring greetings from UN Women, our country representative, and the staff of UN Women. Just give me 1 minute. I get a document that I'm going to be reading from our head of office. Just 1 minute. I think there was a bit of disruption. Just a minute. I think, I have misplaced it, but I'm going to get it now. So it's with great pleasure that I bring greetings from UN Women, our head of office, Madam Anna Mutavati, and the entire staff of UN Women Kenya. We are privileged to have been invited for this function, and I'm honored to join you at this special occasion of the launch of the Garissa Action Plan, County Action Plan, on the United Nations United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace, security, and the gender responsive DSCAP action plan on preventing violent extremism. I've seen all that there, and it's quite beautiful. The action plans, the launch of these action plans are a true testament of what it means to localize the Kenya National Action Plan on Women, Peace and Security, agenda, and it serves as a foundation of Kenya's commitment to ensuring women are at the heart of peace and security. I think that has been mentioned by so many speakers, that where a woman is, they can use the very many words that they speak to be able to pass the good word in terms of security. They can also provide guidance to the generations and the people around them in terms of what is good, and therefore, preventing violent extremism. I wish to commend the county government of Garissa in particular, with women, in partnership with Womankind Kenya, as it launches these action plans. The groundbreaking of UN Security Council Resolution 1325, which was adopted more than 23 years ago, I think it was mentioned by Maria, acknowledges the impact of conflict on the lives of women and girls, but more importantly, it recognizes women's invaluable contribution to conflict prevention and resolution, peace building, and preventing countering violent extremism. Women's participation is not an end in itself. Their participation in building and sustaining peace is first and foremost a matter of right to participate. The action plans will help increase the participation of local women in the peace and security efforts. As UN Women, we urge the county government to include women peace agenda in the CIDP. I will repeat that. As UN Women, we strongly urge the county government to include the women agenda in their county development plans. And I'm looking at the DG, and I know is the one who is leading on that process. Let's have the women agenda at the center of the county development plans. This will ensure that we will see tangible results of our efforts in advancing this agenda. Because when you leave out women, then you will advocate for the issues around women, around girls, around the country, and around the communities. So we urge the county government to factor that in. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the current peace and security context, characterized by new and emerging threats, such as climate change and prolonged drought, which are also drivers of conflict and insecurity, the implementation of women, peace, and security agenda is more critical than ever. We need to ensure that women's voices and leadership are the center of all peace-building efforts, whether it's at household level, community, county, national, and even the global arena. So if you leave out women, it is not, you have left out a very critical mass. I think many people have mentioned that the critical voice of a woman will always ensure that there are certain aspects that are not left out in the security apparatus. Despite the footprint of this agenda growing in Kenya, and noting the commendable progress made so far around policy and political will, and we are glad that we have Mr. Njenga Miri around in the house. We know that there's a lot of progress that has been made. However, we must keep in mind that social barriers and cultural practices that societies that tolerate violence against women and hinder the participation of women in traditionally masculine spaces continue to exist. That is a reality, and I'm sure that is one of the things that we face, because most of the things that have been set up, the policies, sometimes they are gender blind. They don't take care of the aspects of women. So it is very important to still consciously include the women in everything that we do, not just on paper, but also on the table. So that's very critical. Unfortunately, reality is that women, including young women, remain excluded from governance and peace and security efforts. Often, peace and security initiatives targeting youth tend to favor young men, while young women remain largely seen as passive victims and are left out. I think that's a very important point that we need to take into consideration. The young girls, the young women. As you're bringing on board the young men, please do not forget our young women. I know sometimes they need a lot of mentorship, they need a lot of hand-holding, but bring them on board. They will learn and they will run with it. I'm so glad that I'm sitting next to the CC for Gender. She's a very powerful woman, and I've had conversations with her. And I know with the support of the Deputy Governor and the leadership of the county, that agenda is going to be something that is looked at. It will be at the center of all CIDPs. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, while national implementation can provide a critical framework for achieving the agenda, the Women, Peace and Security agenda, people at the counties and communities often feel very removed. I had a discussion when I came in with Mr. Njenga, and I was just inquiring how they cascade all the policies at national level to the ground. And I was so happy when he mentioned that, with a lot of assurance that they use the peace apparatus at the county, at the community level to empower, the communities and to also implement the policies around peace and security, and more importantly, the counter-terrorism, the extremism. So that's really critical, because if we don't do that, then we are leaving out the most important constituents in our apparatus. Therefore, the localization of a United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 provides this opportunity to women and also men to take part in governance and security decision-making processes. I am pleased to note that the Garissa County Action Plan and the DAP countering violent extremism action plans are people-centric. They are also bottom-up, and that is based on the premise that local ownership and participation leads to more effective policy making and implementation. I just wanted to mention, and I know Mr. Jenga will bear witness that Garissa County is privileged to be one of the few counties that have actually come up with a county action plan that is going to be implemented, and it is bottom up, kind of, it's from the people, and it's going to be owned by the people. I therefore urge all stakeholders in Garissa to play a critical role in overseeing the implementation of this Women, Peace and Security Action Plan and CVE Action Plan, and focus on translating the plans into actions that will benefit the security and safety in Garissa County, and work towards increasing the number of women in the Peace Committee and other peace and security platforms, and empowering women with skills to confidently participate in governance structures. I think that's quite loaded, because the first thing is we should ensure that we've not just launched a document, but it is implemented. And in the heart of implementation, we have to bring women, we have to skill them, to empower them with the skills and other stakeholders, so that this can be implemented and it becomes a reality, so that we all benefit from it. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, allow me to appreciate the involvement and engagement of Womenkind Kenya, who have played a key role in the development of these action plans, ensuring that we watch the Women, Peace and Security agenda in Garissa County. I want to assure you of our commitment to continue working with you to ensure that we deliver tangible results through the implementation of these two action plans. With the support of other donors, UN Women is going to continue to work with you to be able to implement these two action plans. So with that, I just want to thank you for the good work that you've done and the commitment that we have in terms of making sure that these two action plans are implemented. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Asante sana Sister Ngeno, tupigie makofi jameni. Asante sana. Before I call the CEC for culture, my sister, Madam Hawa, I want to recognize the presence of our director. He will just going to greet the people. Mohammed Duo, Director, Intergovernmental Special Program and Donor Relations. Your title ni mrefu sana, lazima usalimie watu. Asante sana Mohammed. Madam Hawa, welcome.
And thank you, Sister Sha'ia, and Bismillah. Salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah, and our very able His Excellency Deputy Governor, and my colleague Waziri for Lands and Urban Planning, representative from National Government, and representative from the county government, all stakeholders present, ulumas, our mothers in the upfront of securities, and ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It's an honor for us to be here on this special day. When you hear of gender, before I talk a lot, let me welcome my colleague to at least say hi and give few remarks. And Waziri Hadi Karibu.
mine will be very brief since our able CEC and His Excellency are around. His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, DCC, Deputy County Commissioner, Mr. Jenge, Head of Prevention and Resilience, Abdul Wahab, National Gender Equity Commission, Lena, UN, and Operation Manager, the CEO, Womankind, Mr. Abdullahi, all representatives from Garissa County Government, national government representatives and other agencies and organizations, community heads representatives, our mamas and youth, our band, Salaam alaikum and good morning. Mine will be very brief. Just want to start with, without wasting much time, with just a proverb. Every success man there is a woman behind. Or nimesema wrongly. Every success man there is a very able mama or wife, for that matter. So that will summarize everything today, that our mothers, our wives, our couple, our sisters, our daughters are very important and are very great and essential in our pillar for peace and security that we are today seeing, or the action plans, the both action plans that we have. As Garissa County, we want to thank all the donor agencies that are complementing our activities, our programs towards this activity, so that we realize our main programs or the manifesto of His Excellency the Governor, which entails detailedly in this issue. A very good example, if you see our election time, most of the people who cast the votes are women. And that is a very good example. And also I can add the youth. The women and youth are the great people that cast their votes. But mainly it's just to see that they are very caring and they want to make sure that they elect the right leaders to govern this country. That's a very case study. The other part is that as a county government, the right way to go is urbanization. And all of you are aware that these days, the Garissa County government, we have a very good program that we are upgrading our towns and our women, our youth, and these programs also will take a great role in the urbanization. The urbanization in the sense that all of us, we are aware that we require our women. Our women are great, they are caring, they love peace and security every time. I can say they are the backbone of every family. Our country starts with individuals and houses, and the houses are the backbone of every house is our mothers, our daughters, our sisters. From houses we go to locations, sub-locations, we go to county and the country at large. So without our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, our youth, we cannot prosper and achieve where we are going. Also, I want to recognize the initiative or the effort of Womankind Kenya. All of us, we are aware as Garissa County, Womankind, they have implemented or they have undertaken a lot of programs in this county and across this county. They have the full capacity to implement these programs and the other programs that we were aware. So Womankind Kenya will work closely as a Garissa County, and we will ensure that our synergy will be together, inshallah. And also, I want to appreciate and thank all the donors and other partners, starting the Japan and the UN Women, for helping or ensuring these programs undertake. For those few remarks, I want to take this chance to thank His Excellency. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Waziri, and because of time factor, I'm gonna be quick. So nikiharakisha msishangae. Today marks an important milestone in our collective journey towards a more inclusive and peaceful country and world. We are gathered here to launch our action plans for the localization of United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace and security, and also the DSCAP County Action Plan on prevention and countering violent extremism. It's a manifestation of unwavering commitment, not to just recognize but also amplify the voice of women in matters of peace and security. Resolution 1325 is more than just a framework. It's a declaration of faith in capacities of half the world's population. It's an acknowledgement that women are not just victims in conflict scenarios, but vital contributors to peace and processes and security structures. It's the acceptance of a fundamental truth that a peace that is not inclusive is no peace at all. Localization of UNSCR 1325 is not a simple process of adaptation, but of ownership. We aim to transform this global mandate into local realities, ensuring that it resonates with every individual and community. It's not a top-down approach, but rather a grassroots movement that requires the unique realities, aspirations, and needs of women across various regions in our county. Women have the right to influence the decisions that shape their lives, and this is even more critical in conflict and post-conflict settings. Their perspective, experiences, and skills can contribute significantly to conflict prevention, resolution, and recovery. Their involvement in peace leads to more sustainable and inclusive results, fostering social cohesion, resilience, and long-lasting peace. When I talk of this, when we have interclans issues, we have security group commanded by women, and they move around in our wards to calm down the interclans issue. So by embarking on this path, we recognize that women are not just beneficiaries of peace, but active agents of change. Women, peace, and security is not a side issue. It is at the very core of effective peace building and conflict resolution. It has an implication on gamuts of issues ranging from conflict prevention, human rights, governance, development, to health and education. To put it simple, when women participate in peace process, peace lasts. Hiyo ni ukweli. Hiyo sauti iko chini sana. When our mothers get involved in peace issues, some aman fi anhelno. That is the reality. I need a big voice. Ni kama hamuamini wanawake. Come on. When women are meaningful involved in negotiation, they bring diverse perspective and border, like at the Tana River, markay haysati imida and Isielo. You know what our women do, Sama? They have their own groups and they sort that issue so quickly than you guys. Sama. The benefit of including women in peace and security efforts are evident, but the path to achieving this is filled with numerous systemic, cultural, and political obstacles. Like, malo ogolo in a high table for distance. Sama. Islam maxay sameyn kartaa naga dhaadhacsan. But in real sense, women are more peace lovers than men. So let's use our women meaningfully. Like the way Baba Nunde said, 100 words. So they can help a lot. Next time, let's consider that, inshallah. And this is where our action plan takes center stage. It provides the roadmap to confront this barrier head-on. With boldness, determination, and collective effort, we seek to institutionalize women's participation in every aspect of peace and security, from policy making to negotiation tables, from community leadership to conflict resolution. Waxaan ka wada markii siyaasad lagu jiro, we need our women. Qaylidooda iyo buuqooda waa u baahanaa. So when it comes to security, let's also use that. Inshallah, aan horwadna gabdhaheena ha hadlaan. Inclusivity is not a destination, but a journey. As we embark on this journey, we must keep in mind that the success of this action plans will not be measured solely by its implementation, but by the transformation it triggers. Our metric of success is not confined to the number of women at the negotiation tables, but in the substantive contribution they make and the recognition they receive as integral drivers of peace and security. Waxaa laga yaabaa, like a good example, ani my baba, Sheikh Umar Ugarani, he was a peace loving, and you can imagine khibradu laha uu unigu dhaafay sama gabadhiisa yaha. So I think I have that khibrat to bring peace too. So next time when you guys are going for peace issue, please consider women. This action plan on the localization of UNSCR1325 and the DAP CVE are our shared commitment towards gender equality, peace, and security. It's a testament to our belief that a society is stronger, safer, and more prosperous when women are not silenced but celebrated, and not marginalized but mainstreamed. Wafahamteen sama? Gabdhehen aan gacanta qabanno. May we proceed with this spirit of cooperation and result commitment to the cause of women, peace, and security. Let's not just imagine, but create a world where every voice counts, where every woman is a participant, not a spectator in the path towards peaceful future. Finally, I wish to take this opportunity to appreciate and thank the stakeholders who made this process successful and possible. More so to the people of Japan who contributed to the financial, UN Women and Womenkind Kenya for the technical support and the implementation of this program. As the new CEC for the Department of Gender and Social Service, I wish to assure the stakeholders for my 100% commitment to the implementation of these two action plans, inshallah. And the DG is here. He will strengthen my words, bi'inillahi kareem, and I'm sure we are ready, a ready government that is willing to stand up and support every aspect of gender. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Tuwapigie makofi tafadhali. Asante sana Sister Hawa. Let me now welcome my colleague, the DCC for Garissa County. You know he's my colleague, but when he's seated here today, he's representing the county commissioner, so kuna mchezo, si ndio? Okay, manta ladies, manta wameli weine manta. Hakuna mtu anajua hata mimi sijui aendelee. Manta wameli weine manta. Asante sana.
Thank you so much. Thank you, my colleague. She has given me the mantle now to